we're lights, camera, action, everything's big, we're in your face. We have the venues, we have all the arenas. We tap into additional budgets to kind of meet the demand in order for somebody to select your city.
Hello everyone, hello WorldEsports. We're here today with Neil Johnson. Thank you for your time. I'm glad I'm having you here today. We can start with introduction a little bit. So tell us more about yourself. What are you doing at the moment? What is your work experience? And what are your plans?
Gotcha. Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Neil Johnson. I'm the Vice President and Managing Director of Gaming and Esports for HPN Global. HPN Global is a global meetings management and site selection company, and what that means is we handle a lot of the hotel accommodations, site selection, logistics, and kind of are taking a lot of those venue sourcing responsibilities off end users' hands and kind of handling that for them. We think there is a need in this industry, in this space. A lot of people who are kind of securing the meeting rooms and securing venues, it's really not their main function, it's not their wheelhouse. There's somebody in production or somebody in marketing who's been tasked, hey, go find us some rooms. So we think there's an opportunity to really level up the experience in terms of gaming and esports. So that's what my company is and how we're kind of pivoting into this space. Interestingly enough, I've only been with this company for 6 months. I started around 6 months. I started in April. Before that, I've worked for 3 different destinations, which is kind of why I'm here speaking on a panel about esports, tourism, and investment and infrastructure. But I've represented Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Washington, D.C., 3 pretty big domestic U.S. destinations. So I've been in hospitality, event tourism for 20 years, in particular specific to gaming and esports. I started gaming and esports in 2016, so relatively young in this space, but you grow in dog years, so I mean, this space grows, so quickly. So I've seen a lot of changes and interacted with a lot of people, and so that kind of brings me up to date in terms of what am I doing. I am running around chasing a 16-year-old daughter around the house and just trying to, when I'm not doing this, me and my girlfriend are raising our daughter and putting controllers in her hand and, getting her all squared away to be a little future gamer.
She's playing games? Which games?
No, she's not playing games. She's just like holding a toy controller. She's walking around with like my headset on and stuff like that. But she sees me in the chair and everything, and she wants to sit in my lap, just kind of stare at the screen and stuff like that. So that's cool.
What about you? Are you playing games?
I'm getting into it now. I think it helps me to kind of get an understanding and connect more with the people, with the industry and kind of what we're trying to do. I won't sit here and say like I've been playing games. I played like Tecmo Bowl and some of that stuff, but those aren't the games that we're playing now. I have to say that when I got into space in 2016, I went to a Call of Duty event. So they say the first event you're exposed to is one you really like. So I'm an FPS kind of person. I love Call of Duty. I love Counter-Strike as well, and in particular, just Counter-Strike when it's on European soil because it's like the Mecca. If you go to IESF Katowice, you see Sportic Arena, 17,000 people screaming, on the latest headshot. It's almost the best thing in the world. In my time with MGM Resorts, we host EVO every year, the Fighting Game Championship, Super Bowl. So being that close and seeing, this level, this caliber of esports professional and Street Fighter, Tekken, Super Smash Brothers, Soul Calibur, I'm a huge FGC person. So I'd say the game that I'm starting in right now will be Super Smash Bros.
Nice. You mentioned that you were working before with 3 destinations. Which one is the most interesting one and the most challenging?
Oh wow! I guess
because
okay, we're not being PC. This is a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Just want to make sure we get that. So don't hate me. We're just talking. I have to say Las Vegas. I live in Las Vegas. I've been in Las Vegas for 20 years, and it's just a destination that I think is people know it around the world. There's an expectation. I said Las Vegas, your face lit up.
Yeah.
So that's what the response that everybody gets. It's kind of like hey, anything goes. You know, it's adult entertainment. You're kind of hanging out, and I say adult entertainment now, running around chasing a 16-month-old. But Vegas is just really cool. I think it sets up and it lines up perfect with gaming and esports because Vegas, we're a little quirky. Vegas, we do things a little different. Esports is a little quirky, a little gaming. Nobody knows what it is. You guys just playing video games, watching the screen all day. What's going on? So I think it lines up really well. So everything that's going on in Vegas, and probably one of the last things that really kind of hit Vegas that makes it like a regular another U.S. destinations that we really didn't have sports because of the gambling and sports betting issue.
Yeah.
But when the Supreme Court kind of overturned, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned that ruling to allow gaming in different states, their prerogative, it just really kind of opened things up. So now we've got NFL, American football, Formula One's coming. We've got a hockey team that went to Stanley Cup Finals in its first season. Our women's basketball team won the WNBA championship. So everything that Vegas had, the shopping, the dining, the entertainment, everything, now it's a world-class sports city. So Vegas is awesome.
They're bringing the sport back in Vegas, definitely. With the F1 next year and a lot of different events.
And so now we're in like global cities, and F1 and kind of really taking in that experience with everybody. So everybody in Vegas watches F1 now, like all over the place. Before, I don't think we were watching it.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with us. We won't get that. Why watch this?
Are you watching F1?
No, but one of the things I do want to do is I want to watch that documentary on Netflix. I think that documentary kind of sets everything up. And I've been kind of watching like English Premier League, documentaries. So now I'm like, a little wannabe soccer fan, Man City and stuff like that. So I want to watch that documentary. And then after that, it's going to get my juices flowing for like F1 and all that stuff. But on a lesser level, I am a huge NASCAR fan. Just the regular. I like that though.
Which is your favorite TV series? Because you mentioned that you want the documentaries and everything. Which one is your favorite?
My favorite what?
TV series.
Oh, wow. I'm really just like a documentary guy, and I go through like kicks, I met some of the Turkish guys here, and I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce this title right, but it's a documentary on the Ottoman Empire and how all that going, and I really like real time period kind of peace movies. So it's set, in the rising of the Ottoman Empire and their clash with the Mongol, dynasty and Genghis Khan's sons and stuff like that. So I'm into like all that weird stuff, and so it's the series is called Ertugrul. I don't know if I'm saying it right, and I apologize, but it's 5 seasons. It has like 85 episodes, so it's a commitment. It's a commitment. You can't just like have to, casually watch this. When you sit down, you're committed. You're gonna watch this show. So I watched that. I watched The Crown. I watched just a lot of period pieces on the flight over. I watched Elizabeth, the Golden Age, talking about Europe, London, kind of dealing with the Spanish Armada and kind of the rise and falls of different nations. I'm kind of like that historical time period nerd junkie guy.
And what was your first job experience? When you started working like your first?
Oh, I think a lot of people, they say fast food. That's kind of where you catch your deal. Maybe not here around the world, but I started a Del Taco. It's like more tacos, U.S. kind of fast food. They serve some hamburgers, but me and a couple buddies from high school, we all put our applications and we all make sure we work the same shifts.
Yeah.
And stuff, but you're in high school and you're just like, hey man, it's free food, so I'm just gonna go there and work, do my, flip the burgers and like, hey man, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one.
And you're working all day and after that partying and studying at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, what was your biggest challenge in your work experience till now?
I think probably, are we saying as it relates to esports or just kind of anything?
Anything.
I think probably one of the biggest things is knowing its timing in terms of a job, knowing when it's time to leave, when it's time to stay. A lot of times, we're kind of a generation that, hey, if it gets a little tough, I'm going to go find something else better. Sometimes you got to stay and stick those out and fight through the challenges because some of these opportunities are meant to grow you and stretch you. Then there are some other opportunities to where if you don't feel like there's a commitment to what you're passionate about and things don't really kind of align, it might be time to move on. So I think that's something like we all kind of grapple with and deal with, and stuff like that. And I think this isn't your generation of like your parents or your parents' parents, where they had one job, they worked there 30 years and they never left. Now it's kind of like there's so many options and opportunities, So I think one of the things is just kind of like timing. I think as it relates to gaming and esports, I think it's just communicating what it is. I think where everybody that's in this space is still trying to tell people what the hell we do.
Yeah.
And then I think at the other one is just making sure that there's buy-in in terms of that this has to be a longer term commitment. You can't come in, and hit home runs or just kind of whatever the other sports analogy is. You can't come in and just like make things happen. You do this in stages. It progresses, and then down the road when you see the wins, you sit here and see, what you built, and it kind of come to life,
Definitely it's true. The one with the esports that we are explaining what esports is, because not everyone knows what actually esports is. It's not just playing games, staying home with it. It is a lot more than that. And you're like only 6 months in this company. I'm sure that you set up a few goals for the next period. What are your next challenges?
I think that you're still just kind of like growing, growing the market, growing the business. Obviously, you want to land, a relationship kind of handling hotel accommodations for a major developer, a major tournament operator, or somebody that gives you high visibility, So I was able about a month ago to kind of handle the hotel accommodations for the Esports Insiders flagship ESI London, so that was a really good experience. Definitely in talks with other people about landing other programs, but I think overall the goal is always just to learn your craft, learn your trade, whether it's the individual tactics and things you need to kind of do the job that I'm doing right now, or whether it's kind of learning and meeting people outside of my region, North America, US, and kind of seeing how they do things, see if it's applicable to the US, and just learning your craft and honing in on your skills, and meeting people and those kind of global collaborations. I think those are the things I'm always looking for now. Is like, how can we kind of connect in 1 + 1 = 5 or something like that.
Yeah. And last but not least, what is your advice for your esports colleagues?
I would say that this world is constantly changing, and I would say be a student. Be a student. Be continually learning how this world changes. When I first got into this space, there really was the regionalization of esports that they're trying to mimic traditional sports on. It was kind of like, hey, what are the biggest cities? We're going there. And now it's different. When I first got into esports, we were just kind of getting into the genre of Battle Royale. It was H1Z1, it was PUBG, it was Fortnite, and Apex Legends, and streaming. When I first got in, streamers weren't a big deal. Now they're kind of rage, and you have to have some kind of presence, in terms of streaming and online, stuff like that. So now we're talking about the metaverse, Web3, NFTs, blockchain. It just constantly changes. So be a student. Bruce Lee said, "Be water."
Yeah, and be up to the trend, because every day in this world something is changing and you're learning new things. Thank you for the interview and thank you for your time. It was my pleasure.